Hello there, thank you for watching this presentation in which we will cover the topic of variability. We often come across variability in the design and deliver management activities of operations management, and it is often said that operations managers hate variability. Well, why that is and how you can manage it will hopefully be clear after this video. If not, you can always read chapter 4 and 11 of the 6th edition of Slack Operations Management, and in this presentation we will mainly talk about the model you see on your screen right now. In order to illustrate the effects of variability on operations and how you can manage it, I'd like you to imagine two hotels. On one hand we have the Easy Hotel, a 2-star hotel, affordable, no nonsense, and on the other hand we have the Four Seasons Hotel, 5-star, luxury, high-end. Even though both hotels are very different, they have the same type of processes in place. For example, check-in processes and check-out processes. Let's assume in this video both hotels take 3 minutes to check in a guest and check out a guest. Besides having the same processes in place, both hotels also have to deal with two types of variability. On one hand we have the demand variability, meaning the number of check-ins and check-outs per time period, and process variability. That means how long it takes to actually execute a check-in or check-out process. Let's have a look at demand variability first. So demand variability was the number of check-ins and check-outs per time period. In a perfect world, guests would come in a perfect interval to check in and check out. That would mean that receptionists are always working, always being productive, while no one has to wait. That will be an effective and efficient management of resources, of course. But in the real world that's not the case. People that have experience in front office might recognize this, that sometimes it feels like they all gather at the entrance and commit at the same time, isn't it? This graph illustrates this demand variability in both the Easy Hotel and Four Seasons Hotel. You see on the horizontal axis the time. On the vertical axis is the number of check-in and check-outs per hour. You see in the morning lots of people check out, and after 11 becomes very quiet. Then, after 3 o'clock, when most of the rooms are cleaned by housekeeping again, people come in to check in, until approximately 9 o'clock in the evening, then it becomes quiet again. Well, this fluctuation, this is called the demand variability. Let's talk about process variability now, meaning how long it takes to execute a check-in or check-out process. As said before, the Easy Hotel and Four Seasons Hotel both take 3 minutes to check in a guest or check out a guest. Sometimes, though, it takes longer. For example, when one of your guests is asking for some extra information on the tourist attractions or vicinity. Someone lost his passport, or they're just complaining about a lousy taxi driver. On the other hand, it might also be that the process takes shorter. For example, in the case when you check in or check out regular guests. You know their details, for example from this family. Even though they always take too much luggage with them, you manage to check them in within 2 minutes. Together, demand variability and process variability have an effect on operations. For example, might lead to bored receptionists in the quiet moments of the day, while it also might lead to long waiting lines when it's very busy. And this is actually what the model I was referring to earlier is all about. It gives the relationship between utilization rate and the units waiting to be processed. Now let's translate that to normal English. The utilization rate is actually the time that your receptionists are working, from 0% on the left to 100% on the right. On the other hand, the units waiting to be processed are actually just the number of people that are waiting to be checked in or checked out. Now you see the blue line that actually gives the relationship. When there's a low utilization rate, so your receptionists are not working, people don't have to wait in line because they can always be served at the spot. On the other hand, when your receptionists are very busy, and they're also taking very long to check in people, more than 3 minutes, then the chances are that people have to wait. And the busier it is, so the higher the utilization rate, the more likely people have to wait. Now we know about this relationship and the effects of variability on the operations, we can go to the next step and see how companies make different decisions and trade-offs, of course based on their strategy. So on one hand, a company could opt for high utilization but accept long waiting lines. That's what Easy Hotel would most probably do. They want high utilization to keep costs down. On the other hand, we can also accept low utilization in order to have short waiting lines. That's what Four Seasons would most probably do, as they are mainly focused on quality and flexibility. Besides the trade-off between high and low utilization and long or short waiting lines, companies can also try to reduce their variability, both process and demand variability. This is explained in Chapter 11 of Slack, but I will give you one example. For example, if a company wants to reduce their process variability, they can opt for standardization. By standardizing all processes, companies can make sure that the check-in process actually takes 3 minutes, not 5, for example. That way, a company can serve more guests without increasing the number of people waiting to be checked in or checked out. What is key in managing variability is that hotels and companies need to make the right decisions that are in line with their strategy. To come back to the Easy Hotel, this 2-star hotel mainly focusing on cost, will most probably opt for high utilization by, for example, standardizing their processes. By doing so, they reduce costs, but they also need to accept long waiting lines. On the other hand, we have the Four Seasons Hotel, a 5-star hotel focusing on quality and flexibility. In this luxury hotel, guests don't want to wait in order to be checked in or checked out. They want to be able to ask multiple questions and have flexible processes at the front office. They are willing to pay a higher price. That also allows the company to have higher costs, and therefore they allow a low utilization, making it possible to serve the guests to their needs. To summarize, we can say that all companies have to deal with various types of variability. Most important ones are process variability and demand variability. They both have an effect on the operations, but luckily, companies and managers can choose how to deal with it in various ways. Long waiting lines versus short waiting lines, lots of receptionists or only one. You can also choose to standardize your processes or to have very flexible processes. It's all possible. But in the end, it's very key that your decisions are in line with your strategy and performance objectives. That's really the key message.